Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm here with something that I do not do too often, which is basically an unboxing. It's for Core Space Firstborn. The Kickstarter finally arrived. Very excited about that, so I have it in my hands here. But I usually have Gimpy's Gal do a guesses, but there's no need for a guesses because we already know Core Space. It's been featured a lot on my channel. And besides, I want to get this done as soon as possible so I can start painting it up so I can actually get it to the table because I want to use it for the game. I want to use some of the stuff that's in here for other games as well. So we're going to just jack through this real quick. I want to show you guys what all came with this. Now, this is the Kickstarter version, which means it is going to be different from the retail version. There are a few extras that are in here, and the thing that I'm kicking myself for now is I didn't do the all-in, and I really should have, because it didn't cost too much more to get a fair amount more with it. I don't know, maybe I was short on funds at the time, but one thing I definitely want is those reference cards for all the symbols that are in the game, because there are a lot of symbols, and of course this is adding some new ones. So we have our neoprene mat right here on the front. These are 2x2s, but I think this actually means that I have, I want to say 3 of these now, neoprene mats. Yeah, I think I've got 3 of these. So I could make a big station. I did a 2x4 series. Check that out, Core Space, big game. Whole lot of fun. I think I'll probably just do a 2x2 on the next one because I've got an idea of the story that I'm going to go with for this, because I think I'm going to continue using my crew. And something that's really bothered me, and you guys, if anyone happens to see this who knows where I could get one, let me know. There's an expansion for Core Space. It's called Rogue Purge, and it's Purge, the little mechanical bad guys from the first Core Edition, and you can actually have them as part of your pirate crew. I cannot find that expansion anywhere. Evidently, it's sold out like that. I can't get it. I really want it. So definitely, if you see it, let me know. This is the dashboard. They have always excellent components when it comes to this stuff. For the new ship components, which should be right up here near the top, I believe. Yeah. Here they are. So the ships are a whole lot different. This is kind of a expansion in and of itself, which you can get separately, I believe, and a whole bunch of different ship types. Let's see, the Black Mariah, and they even have costs and everything, so you can sell them. I'm not sure what all this stuff represents just yet, because this does change up everything. And these are the shiny, you guys can see that in the light material that you can write on with a white erase marker. So good stuff. Bunch of ships. How many come with this thing? Like 4? 8? Yeah, like 8 come with it. And they dual-sided? Let's see. Yeah, they're dual-sided. And it's set up to where you can basically do a create your own on the back of it. Cool. I like that. And this one's got its little prices. I guess that's the amount of crew that you can have. Different stations that are on the ship. Maybe hull value, I'm guessing. Or maybe that's what this stuff is over here. A little HUD. But yeah, definitely a whole expansion based around ships. So they're expanding how ships work in the game, but not tremendously. Not like getting your own like huge ship miniatures or anything, but you do have a dashboard so you can have more going on with your ships. I wonder if there's even scenarios you could create on like one of the neoprene mats and act like you're inside the ship fighting. That would be kind of cool. So this dashboard goes with that. And they put a little handful of little token baggies in here. And I'm like, why wouldn't you guys just like tuck these somewhere? These are loose. Utility dashboards, definitely nice. I'm excited to try these out. These are like backpacks and stuff you can add to your guys. They've got little connectors. We'll see them down in here in just a sec, but they connect to our regular dashboard. So if you've seen Core Space before, you know you got your character, their inventory, their ability card, and then the pegs keeping track of health, skills, and ammo. Well, now there's more going on with that. You can have like big, heavy weapons. So think of like Master Chief when he rips off the automatic machine guns or those heavy plasma cannons and carrying it around, kind of like that. Or you can have a little backpack where you carry some extra stuff and that attaches to your guy. Definitely like that. So this gives you the little bits of rules and how all that's going to work. Backpacks, bandoliers, little symbols involved with that. And it comes with the little sheets that would be in there if you ordered these expansions separately. So you get, with the Kickstarter version, Fury of the Insane God, In the Line of Fire, and this is the Ships of Disrepute. All right, so all the special rules that you're going to need to know for those 3 expansions, those are the base 3 expansions that you get in the game or with the Kickstarter, are going to be in here. And the cool part is these all have scenarios in them as well. All that good stuff, just in case you guys haven't seen it. It shows you how to create a map, what goes where, what cards, what event cards, what threat level you start at, all that good stuff. You guys will see when we start playing into the game. I tell you, that doesn't look just so freaking cool, man. Fury of the Insane God, which I'm guessing is that, because this one has whole new enemies, different from the Purge, which is why I want to have Purge guys that work with me. Read this first. This is an overview of learning how to play. I like that they included this. This is basically a how to get started, because they didn't really have that in the first one. Has a little cloth baggie here to put your tokens in. Remember, you can do searches in the game. And the searches that you do, you're going to either take them out of the little token crates that you can have mixed around the map, or you'll pull them out of the bag if you're just randomly searching a room. But you could only search the rooms once. Let's see. These, I believe, are used to set up like an organizer in the box itself, because these are real thick, sturdy cardboard. And that's what I'm thinking, but I'm not exactly sure how these things are supposed to go together. Maybe they go like that, or, well, this fits there. And these look like they fit there, so it would have to go like that. Yeah, probably something like that. I'll put that together later on and see if it holds up pretty well. This was a nice improvement that they made. The previous range rulers were cardboard, not acrylic. This comes with a couple of them. Very much reminds me of X-Wing. There's a short one in here. That one right there, just in between my fingers. And then the long one. And the way ranges work in this, it's so great. You have short range, which is the small one, medium range, which is the long one, and anything past the long one is long range. Real easy to understand. You don't have to worry about inches or any of that crap. Our big, hefty rule book, and this gets into all the minutia of the game. There's a lot going on in this one. And then we've even got a Firstborn campaign in the back of it as well. A lot of cool stuff in this, and that's the back of it. Oh man, doesn't that just look freaking awesome? That just looks awesome. I can't wait to get this out on the table. The cool part is I do have a lot of terrain and stuff already built up from the previous one, so I don't have to worry too much about getting a lot of stuff set up. So I'm just going to set up some of the new items from the game just to kind of flesh it out a little bit. But what I don't get is they've got some of the stuff from other expansions, because this robot and this little thing, both of these guys are from the Bounty Hunter expansion. And yeah, there's a reason I know that, because of course I had to get one that had bounty hunters in it, so you guys can see that little droid, that little guy. Both of those are from this one, and this one came with a couple of floating droids and a couple of bounty hunters and some other little alien creatures. Definitely cool looking thing. So definitely going to have to find a way to incorporate this into the game as well. All right, so before we get into the box of all the miniatures, let's pull out this and show you guys the stuff that's in here. This is our threat tracker plastic board. You'll put the piece that goes in there, and that shows you what enemies are going to spawn. And the little peg holes are where you'll put the pegs to keep track of what the threat level is. And of course, we got old big boy here. That is I guess, the main boss from the Living God expansion. That looks just cool. That's going to be awesome to paint up. And that's the big reason I'm filming this so quick, because, like I said, I've got a lot of this stuff already painted, but I can't help it. I have to paint it before I play with it, at least like something down and dirty. So I've got to get at least the bad guys, at a bare minimum, painted up for this game. Here we've got, and this is kind of surprising, only 4 of these player boards came with this. Now I've got a bunch of these, and these, wow, these are heavier. These are very sturdy. These are much improved from the previous ones as far as quality goes. But why would they only include 4? I don't quote me, because I could be wrong, but I believe I'm right when I say that the first one, the first core space, came with 8 of these. 1 for each crew member, and you had 2 pirate crews of 4 guys, right? So why wouldn't they do the same in this one? I mean, it's not going to matter for me. I've got more than enough of those things, but it's like, seriously? You really can't play multiplayer. I mean, you could play it multiplayer, either each person having a pirate crew of 2 against each other, or if you're playing cooperatively, have a couple of guys, you know, on each, that you're each controlling. But I was a little surprised to see that. Down here are all our pegs for putting together the terrain, and I like how they change the color of these. Normally they are a gray to go along with the terrain, but this is like this light beige color. And I think they went with that because that matches the pieces better. Our deck of cards, we're not going to go through all these just yet. We will see them in game, and I don't want to have any spoilers just yet. But these are our threat cards for what can potentially pop up. Again, determining what level you're at, what threat level. All right, so big thing I know you guys are wanting to see. And this is the last couple of things that we've got in the box. And one, this is just a huge stack of cardboard. And to save myself a little trouble, we're not going to go through all this just now. Make sure you watch when I do a playthrough of the game, and I'll show you how all this stuff goes together. These are like wall pieces and all that clips together to form your terrain. All right, so there's buttload of that, and there'll be one sheet in here, I do believe, that has all this extra gear on it. Which way is up or down? Wow, a lot of cool looking stuff. Some of this stuff is reversible. Look at a huge weapon. I guess that thing takes up 2 slots. Oh man, this is some cool looking stuff. I can't wait to play with it. They've got like new shields and backpacks and gear that you can put on, that just armor, all that cool stuff. Can't wait to try some of that out. All right, so here is our box that has all our minis, and I like how they tray these up, because it does make it to where it's easier to make sure you keep your miniatures safely stored. Okay, so here's all the minis that you get with this game. You can see there's a fair amount, not as many as come with some of these Kickstarters, but I think this game goes for a few less minis to have a lot better quality. Like, all their components are really good versus just having a handful of okay minis. And they improved the dice, which I do like seeing that. And there's some new dice in there. That's the living people. I forget what these bad guys are called. The green die is for them. Blue die and the red die are attack die. And I think the purple die is the randomizer. So you'll roll that. That's your D6 to determine what area bad guys pop in and what direction they go. Real cool stuff. Multi-use on the dice. The pegs, I mean, they're pegs. They're used for health, skills, keeping track of enemies, ammo, all that good stuff. Like, these are your ammo pegs. Plenty of those in here. Oh, and here is our little thing of the extra dashboards. You see how they connect in? They got those little pieces in there. We got backpacks and some extra little side dashboard pieces that we can plug into our normal dashboards to have expanded weapons and all that cool stuff. I would have liked to have seen maybe a few more of these be included with the game, but they're good quality. They're nice and hard and heavy like those others were. All right, so these are our bad guys. The green ones are. And what I believe they did, these two, let's take some of these out of these little plastic drug dealer baggies here. These two are part of the Living God expansion. They're like his bodyguards. And they're really friggin' cool looking. I mean, tell me those guys just don't look awesome, man. Get them painted up looking real cool. So it was those two and that big spindly guy as part of one. And these, I think, are the base enemies that come in the game. And then you get like an extra copy of the base enemies, or at least an extra few come with it. Basically, the thing that they did was have like an expansion pack to get more enemies so you could play bigger games. In the Kickstarter version, they included that with like the base game itself. So we've got more bad guys than we would normally start off with. The gray ones are our crew, right? So we only get one pirate crew this time. Now this big alien guy looks friggin' cool. And I think another, another droid. But that's kind of like a weak looking droid, man. Spindly arms, holding a little data clip. No, I want like vicious looking droids. And I'm not sure which one of these is the captain. And this guy's a little gunner dude. And I believe, is this a lady? Yep, a lady with her little I'm Han Solo gun pointed out there, doing cool stuff. So yeah, we only have one pirate crew this time. I would have liked to have seen them do two. These guys, the orange ones, are hunters, but they're not bounty hunters. They're worm hunters. So they're like hunting these big evil worm looking things. But I do believe they can be used as extra crew members as well, if you want to do so. So that would be up to you on whether or not you wanted to use them. Make a story or play through a scenario where they become part of it. And these are essentially another crew. I think they're part of, which expansion was it here? In the Line of Fire. So they're part of this one. Okay, so in a way, these guys are almost like an extra pirate crew. They're extra NPCs, non-fighters, camera crews, prospectors, miners, stuff like that. But some of them, like the miners, can be hired on as your pirate trader crews. So some of these guys are just flat out civilians, which you will have in-game, which we had in Core Space. They were actually kind of neat because in Core Space, I had a game where one of the civilians ended up like turning into a living god. I forget. I think that's what it was called. Not the living god. The head enemy of the Purge. The head bad guy like turned into a live one. A live one. That's what it was called. He turned into the head bad guy and was chasing after my guys as they were fleeing the station. So cool stuff to see that included as well. But these guys, and I'm not sure on the orange, don't quote me on that either way, but if you were to get this just at retail instead of getting like the Kickstarter version, I don't think any of this stuff is going to be included in that. Obviously you'll get dice and pegs and all that good stuff, but that big spindly guy, these guys, the extra enemies, this group, I know they're an expansion on their own. I've seen that for sale, these for sale, this one for sale. I don't believe I've seen the hunters, so they may just be included in this as a flat purchase. So if you get the Core Space Firstborn game, they should be there, but don't quote me. I could be wrong on that. Yeah, Core Space is one of those games, though. It's so expandable. It's so playable in so many different ways. You can play it cooperatively. You can play it solitaire. You can play it almost as an RPG, tabletop role-playing game with good combat mechanics. You can play it competitively. It really is whatever you want to make of it. And I even pointed out previously in one of my videos how someone had come up with even the enemies for the cards. an enemy set using the nasty, vicious aliens from the Nemesis board game. So if you wanted to have those like evil creatures in your game, you could do that because people are essentially modding the game so you can, add in extra enemy types. But in the games that I've played already, just my games, all right, I've had Purge attacking my guys. I came up with a scenario where my pirate crew were storming in, trying to get one of their members out against, and they ended up fighting gangers. They ended up fighting the Galactic Police. They ended up fighting Purge. And now I'm going to be adding bounty hunters into it and the Firstborn. So much cool stuff. Actually having a ship now, which I'm thinking about printing out like a resin ship to use as like a symbol of their ship. But I hope you guys can see like why this is my favorite miniatures game of all time. There's just so many different ways that you can play it, so many different ways that you can expand it. The biggest drawback to it is that setup takes a while, right? So that's a little bit of a pain in the ass when you're first getting everything clipped together. But once you get it clipped together, it looks so good on the table. Go check out my video I did on it, Core Space Big Game. The very first video shows a time lapse where I was putting together some of the scenery, and you see how long it can take. Keep in mind, though, that was double the size. That was a 2 foot by 4 foot. Yeah, but between that and trying to remember all the symbols and me having a brain injury and definitely not being able to remember all the symbols, that would be a little bit of a problem. But I'm going to get those reference cards, which will hopefully help mediate some of those issues. All right, but yeah, put your comments down below. Put any ideas you have for a scenario that you'd like to see played out. Like I said, I'm planning on bringing back my original pirate crew that I had ran in my previous couple of games into this, and coming up with some type of something happened that threw them off into a different part of space where now the enemy is totally new. It's not the Purge, it's the Firstborn. Or maybe I'll have the Purge join in as well, and the Purge will fight the Firstborn, who will fight my guys who are being tracked by bounty hunters. Something like that. That's kind of like what I'm thinking. All right, you guys take care. I'll see you in the next one.